Hello everyone. So today we are here for ICB. Now what is ICB? ICB is intensive coaching batch and I'm so happy that you all are in ICB 1. Now what is this ICB 1? You all know that you have scored very good marks in your prelims and you have got this opportunity to be in this batch. Now guys, today we will discuss many tips for algebra, many questions which are out of the box. We will discuss what can be done in such sums, and also ICB 1 students means it is a responsibility on your end that you need to go above 90 come what may. So let's start guys. This is the algebra paper pattern. Now I have mentioned it 1920. Why? Because till last year this was the paper pattern. Right now we have not got any updates related to the paper pattern. Till the time we will consider that it is going to remain the same. Once we get any updates, we will let you know. In question number 1A, you have to attempt all the four questions. In question 1B, you have to attempt all the four questions. In question 2A, you have to attempt 2 out of 3. In question 2B, you have to attempt 4 out of 5. In question 3A, you have to attempt 1 out of 2. In question 3B, you have to attempt 2 out of 4. In question 4, 2 out of 3, and in question 5, 1 out of 2. Correspondingly, I have mentioned the marks as well. So you can just take a picture of it for your reference. Now, there is one more confusion till date. Ma'am, what is the reduced portion? Is this sum excluded or included? So here is a complete summarization of your excluded portion. Just remember, arithmetic progression and probability has no omission. Financial planning and statistics are completely omitted, and selective sums of linear and quadratic have been excluded. It is mentioned over here. You can just take a picture of it. Okay, now proceeding with few sums of all the important chapters. Let's discuss the sums. Let's understand whether we can crack this sums, how to think, how to solve. Let's start. Some part of the journey of 555 km was completed by a car with the speed 60 km per hour. Then the speed is increased by 15 km per hour and the journey is completed. If it takes 8 hours to reach, find the time taken and the distance covered by 60 km per hour speed. The question says, first of all, we all know when it is about word problem, we focus on the find part. And the question says, find the time taken and the distance covered by 60 kilometer per hour speed. We have to find out two things, time taken, distance covered. Now guys, first of all, let's understand this question with the help of a figure so that we will understand it in a better way. Some part of the journey of 555 kilometer. Total distance is 555. Some part of the journey was completed by a car with the speed 60 kilometer per hour. When I am saying some part, I will consider it from A to C. It was completed with the speed of 60 kilometer per hour. After this, the speed increased. It increased by 15 kilometer per hour. Earlier, it was 60. Now, it increased by 15 kilometer per hour. That means the new speed will be 60 plus 15, that is 75 kilometer per hour for rest of the journey. So guys, if you observe this diagram, I have complete distance with me. I have speed written with me. Now time is missing. So for one thing I can do, from A to C, I will consider the timing as X hours. From C to B, I'll consider the time as Y hours. You can see I have mentioned the units very properly because in word problems, units are very important. So let's write it down. Let the time taken to cover distance by 60 kilometer per hour speed be x hours and the time taken to cover distance by 75 km per hour be y hours. Now guys, it is a speed distance time sum. So let's make a beautiful table which will help us to find out the equations. This journey is divided into two parts. First part, second part, and it includes three things: speed, distance, time. Now guys, first part of the journey has the speed of 60 km per hour and second part may the speed increased by 15, so it is 60 plus 15, that is 75. Now guys, talking about the time. You remember for first part of the journey, I had mentioned the time to be x hours. We assumed it. In the second part of the journey, we assumed the timing to be y hours. Now guys, read the question carefully. It takes 8 hours to reach. Total journey is completed in 8 hours. First part x, second part y, and total is given. So we will write it as 8. Distance. For first part of the journey, the distance is, we don't know. For second part of the journey, we don't know. Total, we know. So let's do one thing. First of all, if you check the time section, we are getting our first equation. First part of the journey, x hours. Second part of the journey, y hours. And total, 8 hours. X, y, 8. X, y, 8. When I add both the journey, it is 8 hours. So can I say my first equation will be x plus y is equal to 8. And once we get the equation, mark it as equation number 1. So we are done. Now, to get equation number 2, one part is remaining in the table, that is distance. And we all know distance is speed into time. The first part of the journey has 60 as the speed and x as the time. So it will be 60 into x, that is 60x. For second part of the journey, 75 into y. And total journey is there, that is 555 kilometer. And guys, here you go, you have kilometer of first, kilometer of second, and you have total. So you can easily jot down your second equation, that is 60x plus 75y is equal to 555. Now guys, we can make this equation more easier. We can simplify it by dividing throughout by 15. So you will get it as 4x plus 5y is equal to 37. Now this is an easier equation. So mark it as equation number 2. After this, you all know to solve it by equating the coefficient method. You can do it easily. So I hope you clearly understood the first part. That is the framing of the equation. Now, second part is solving, and that is your responsibility. You need to solve the equation and get the final answer. And I know you know it. Okay. So let's proceed towards the second sum. Weight of the bucket is 15 kg when it is filled with water 3 upon 5 of its capacity, and weight is 19 kg if it is filled with water up to 4 upon 5 of its capacity. Find the total weight of the bucket if it is completely filled with water. Now guys, over here the question says find the total weight of the bucket if it is completely filled with water. Now here, if you observe the question properly, it has two important things: bucket, water. I have taken bucket over here. Now over here they are asking find the weight of the bucket, total weight, if it is completely filled with water like this. So how to find it? Now guys, we all know this includes two things, the question, the bucket and the water. And we have to find out the total weight if it is completely filled with water. So what I'll do, I'll consider the, for now, I'm considering the weight of bucket as 2 and I'm considering the weight of water as 20 kg. So if I want the total weight, what will I do? I will first of all consider the weight of the bucket, then I'll consider the weight of the water, and for total weight, I'll just add it 20 plus 2, 22. That means guys, when I add both the weight, I'm getting the total weight. But it was just an example. We will consider, we don't know its actual weight. So for now, we are considering the weight of the bucket as X, weight of the water as Y, and we all know total weight will be X plus Y. So we are done with the first section. So if we want to find out the total weight, the final answer will be X plus Y. The answer of X, the answer of Y, and you have to add it. Now, over here it is given that weight of the bucket is 15 if it is filled with 3 upon 5. It is 19 if it is filled with 4 upon 5. So let's take few example and understand this. If it is filled half of the capacity, for example, अगर bucket half fill हुआ है, if it is filled half of the capacity, what will happen? Now bucket का तो पूरा weight आएगा, but सिर्फ मैंने पानी half भरा है, it is filled only half. So guys, the total weight will be half capacity, that is 2 kg तो आएगा ही, और half ही रहेगा सिर्फ पानी का, मतलब half of 20 kg, करेक्ट ना? एंड ये 2 kg फुल आ जाएगा, बकेट का वेट पूरा एंड वाटर का ओनली हाफ. So it will be 2 plus half of 20. Just an example. We know हम लोग का बकेट का वेट है x and पानी का वेट है y. So guys, actually how it will be, 2 will be replaced by x, 1 upon 2 into 20 will be replaced by y. So total weight will be x plus 1 upon 2 into y. Now guys, actual question is when it is filled 3 upon 5 of its capacity. Now guys, again 3 upon 5 में bucket का weight आएगा x, you will write it down, plus water का weight will be not complete y. Complete y is when it is filled full. Now it is filled only 3 upon 5. So it will be 3 upon 5 y. And the total weight will be 15. So the equation will be x plus 3 upon 5y is equal to 15. Now guys, over here, moving on to the second equation. If it is filled up to 4 upon 5, again entire weight of the bucket will come and entire water won't come. It will be till 4 upon 5 and the total weight is 19. So the equation will be x plus 4 upon 5 y is equal to 19. That is your equation number 2. Now guys, you can observe here I have not mentioned equation number. Come back to condition 1. You have a denominator 5. So first of all, remove that 5 by multiplying throughout by 5. In the second condition also you have 5 in the denominator. So you can multiply throughout by 5 and you can remove the denominator. So for both the condition you will get an easier equation. I hope you have understood the sum very properly, and after solving equation 1 and 2, once you get the value of x and y, just add it. Okay. Now proceeding towards the next sum. Solve the following simultaneous equations. M x plus y plus n x minus y minus n square plus mn plus n square is equal to 0. N into x plus y plus m into x minus y minus m square minus mn plus n square is equal to 0. Here m and n are constants. It's a very easy sum. It just looks difficult, but it's very easy to crack. First of all guys, solve the following simultaneous equation. When I say solve, you need to understand solve means find the value of the given variable. And over here the given variables are x and y. So our final answer needs to be the answer of x and y. And it is clearly mentioned that m and n are not variables, they are constants. So let's start. We will consider the first equation. So let's start with the first equation. Just think, when you look at the equation, the first thing which strikes your mind is there is a lot of bracket. So let's open it. You can open it. But why are we opening the bracket? Because we know if it is equation, simultaneous equation, the standard form is what? Ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. It is not in the standard form. So we know we have to bring it in the standard form. So what we will do? We will arrange the terms together by opening the bracket. And also when you look at the sum normally also, we understand that we have to open the bracket because the pattern is not proper. So let's go for it. M into x plus m into y. N into x minus n into y. Minus over here, what I am doing? I have kept all the variable terms together and I am shifting the constant terms to the right hand side. The entire negative bracket is shifting to the right hand side, so it will become positive. Now guys, what will be the next step? Over here guys, you can check x terms are there. So let's keep it together. Y terms are there. Let's keep it together and the constant will come as it is. Now guys, you can check x is common. So x will come outside the bracket. The remaining m plus n will come inside the bracket. The next one has y common. So we will shift it outside the bracket and m minus n will come inside the bracket. And constant will be written as it is. Now guys, if you observe, see the cursor. Ax plus by is equal to c. You have got the pattern of linear equation. So mark it as equation number 1. Now you understood. We will take the second one and you are going to start speaking how you are going to solve. So let's consider equation number 2. Now guys, when we are considering equation number 2, what are we supposed to do? Over here guys, when you're considering equation number 2, we know again it is not in the standard form. Correct? So what are we supposed to do? We will expand it so that we get the like terms together. So for expansion, we are going to open the bracket n into x nx, n into y ny. M into x mx minus m into y my. Entire constant will be shifted to the right hand side. So entire negative bracket will become positive. Now guys, we will keep the x terms together and we will keep the y terms together. Be careful with the sign. Now over here you can check that x is common. So m plus n will be inside the bracket. Here y is common. But you have to be careful with the minus sign. Over here you have a minus sign, so you will keep it outside and remaining terms will be inside. And now guys, look over here. Ax minus by is equal to c. You have got equation number 2, proper 2 equations. Now, if you check, see the highlights. You are having same terms with opposite signs. Same terms with opposite signs. So what are you going to do? Yes, you will add both the equations. So I am writing both the equations and I am going to add it. Plus minus will get cancelled. M plus n, m plus n. M plus n x, m plus n x will be 2 times m plus n x. Plus mn minus mn will get cancelled. M square plus n square will be 2m square. N square plus n square will be 2n square. Over here 2 is common. So rest of the things will be inside the bracket. Guys, I want the value of x. So what will I do? Look over here. 2 will get cancelled. I want the answer for x. So m plus n will be shifted to the denominator and I got the value. And we all know once we get the value of x, we substitute and we get the value of y. So over here we are starting x is equal to m square, x is equal to m square plus n square upon just I was renaming because the name was wrong. Okay, fine. So we are substituting x is equal to m square plus n square upon m plus n in equation number 1. Now guys, over here I am considering equation number 1. And what I am doing, see, just check, I'll go behind. This is your equation number 1. Look at the cursor. Yeah. In the place of x, you will just put m square plus n square upon m plus n. So over here, m plus n will come as it is. X will be replaced by m square plus n square upon m plus n. Rest everything will come as it is. Okay, now over here guys, what are you supposed to do? You are having two terms in the cross direction. So you will cancel it. Now m square equal to sign के opposite में दोनों same terms cancel होता है. n square will be cancelled. So I am getting m minus ny is equal to mn. So y के answer के लिए I'll shift m minus n to the denominator. So it will be mn upon m minus n. So you will end up the final answer by writing x and y values. I hope you're very clear with the sum. Okay, so let's proceed ahead. Draw the graph representing the equation 2x is equal to y plus 2 and 4x plus 3y is equal to 24 on the same graph paper. Find the area of the triangle formed by these lines and the x-axis. Now guys, over here, draw the graph representing the equation. When I say draw the graph, that means yes, you have to do graphical method. So over here, let's start. We have equation number 1 and we know for graphical method, our equation needs to be in the pattern x equal to something or y equal to something. So what will we do? We will create this as x equal to something or y equal to something. So what I'll do, I'll keep y as it is and I'll shift 2 over this side. So it will be y is equal to 2x minus 2. Now we will prepare a table of coordinates x, y, x comma y. You will always assume value for the variable which is on the right. Right now the value which is on the right is x. So if you don't have any denominator based sum, you can go on considering 0, 1, 2. Easy हो जाता है. अगर denominator नहीं है तो you can consider this. So in the place of x, I am putting 0. So 2 zeros are 0. 0 minus 2, minus 2. 2 ones are 2. 2 minus 2, 0. 2 twos are 4. 4 minus 2, 2. So here we get the coordinates. I know that you know how to do it by graphical method. Second equation, 4x plus 3y is equal to 24. We will arrange the equation in the pattern x equal to something or y equal to something. Over here guys, first of all we will shift 4x to the other side because we require it in the pattern x equal to something or y equal to something. So 4x shift हो जाएगा 24 minus 4x. 3 over here is in multiplication. If I change the sign, it will be division. Now guys, we will make a table. Here we have to be careful because we have denominator. Now guys, here I found only 3 coordinates. But in exam, you need to find 4 coordinates. Remember that. Okay? X, Y, X comma Y. Over here, in the place of X, you have to assume the value because it is on the right. So guys, if I consider X as 0, 4 zeros are 0, 24 upon 3 will give you 8, 0, 8. If 0 works, you can consider the next value. There is a trick, but before that we will assume 1 and check. If in the place of X I put 1, 4 ones are 4, 24 minus 4 gives you 20, 20 upon 3 is some decimal number, very difficult to plot. So what will we do? जो number पहले work किया 0, 0 works. So we will add this 0 to the denominator. 0 plus 3, assumed value plus denominator. Next we can assume x as 3. 4 3s are 12. 24 minus 12 gives you 12. 12 upon 3 gives you 4. Again, if 3 works, you can add the denominator to it. 3 plus 3, 6. Let's check. 4 6 are 24. 24 minus 24 gives you 0 upon 3, that is 0. See, we got the proper coordinates. Now we can easily plot. We will consider the graph paper. We made this axis on the right positive numbers, on the left negative numbers, on the top positive numbers, on the below side it will be negative numbers, x, x dash, y dash. And also compulsorily we will write the scale. Scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit on both the axes. Now let's start plotting 0, comma minus 2. It will be here, very nice. 1, comma 0. 1, comma 0. 2, comma 2. 0, comma 8. Look at the graph paper. 0, comma 8 will come on the y-axis. But before that, once we are done with the 3 coordinates, we will draw a line and we will write the name of the equation. 0, comma 8 will be here. 3, comma 4. 6, comma 0. We will draw a line. We will write the name of the equation. But the question says, find the area of the triangle formed by these lines. And we know area of the triangle is what? Very good. So first of all, we named the triangle, that is ABC, and area of triangle ABC is half into base into height. So the base is 5 units. You can count it from 1 to 6, and the height is 4 units. 2 ones are, 2 twos are. So area of the triangle is 10 square units. I hope you have understood the sum very easily. Guys, actually what happens, find the area of the triangle aa jata na, we feel the sum is very difficult, but you don't have to do anything extra. Just plot the graph and you will understand automatically the triangle is formed. And then you have to apply your normal formula, that is half into base into height. Okay guys, now moving towards the next one. Right now we are going to do quadratic equation. So we completed few interesting sums of linear. Now we are going for quadratic equation. It's a very nice sum. 2 years ago, my age was 4.5 times the age of my son. 6 years ago, my age was twice the square of the age of my son. What is the present age of my son? You have to find out the present age of my son. You all know in quadratic we deal with one variable, and here the find is also 1. So you will consider the present age of my son be x years. Writing the unit is very important. Now guys, here two things are there. My son's age and my age. My son's age is considered as x. My age, no idea. Now something is given in the condition 2 years ago. My age was 4.5 times the age of my son. Today my son's age is x. 2 years ago, it will be x minus 2. At that time, my age was 4.5 times the age of my son. 2 years ago, what is the age of my son? X minus 2. 4.5 is a mixed fraction. So let's make it proper. 4 2s are 8 plus 1 9. So we got my age idea. Now, 6 years ago. Guys, today my son's age is x. 6 years ago x minus 6. And at that time, my age was twice the square of the age of my son. Square of the age of my son. So over here guys, my age 2 years ago is 9 upon 2 x minus 2. 6 years ago is 2 into x minus 6, the whole square. Now guys, let's understand the concept. 2 years ago, For example, 2 years ago, if my age is 60, today 62 because it is 60 plus 2. If 6 years ago my age is 56, today it will be 56 plus 6, that is 62. Guys, 2 years ago, 6 years ago, ये दोनों मेरे age related ही है ना? So answer will be same. It is related to me. For example, it can't be 2 years ago I was 40, 6 years ago I was 100. No, it is related to me, so it will be the same. So if 2 years ago my age is 9 upon 2x minus 2, today it will be plus 2. मतलब 2 साल ज्यादा हो जाएगा क्योंकि 2 साल बड़ी हो गई ना मैं. 6 years ago, if my age is 2 into x minus 6 the whole square, today it will be plus, and both will give me the same answer because both are related to my present age. And guys, let's follow geometry over here. Left hand side equal, right hand side equal. So 9 upon 2x minus 2 plus 2 is equal to 2 into x minus 6 the whole square plus 6. Now let's solve. We all know when we have denominator, first of all we try to remove it. So let's do it, multiplying throughout by 2. Each and every term will be multiplied by 2. Now here the answer will be direct, so you have to understand 2 will be removed. This will be multiplied by 2. This will be multiplied by 2. 6 will be multiplied by 2. Once again, look at the cursor. Oh, from here, this 2 will be removed. Over here, this 2 will be multiplied by 2. Over here, the 2 will be multiplied by 2 and 6 will be multiplied by 2. So 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 6 2s are 12. Now let's focus on, just check why I took a pause. Yes, because you are having variables. So I'll shift the variable part over here. So it will become minus 4x minus 6 the whole square, and I'll shift everything. See, plus 12 to this side. Because quadratic says you should have RHS as 0. So I shifted everything. First of all, I shifted the variable because variable will be together. Then I kept the constant terms together. Now guys, over here, let's focus on opening the bracket. 9x minus 9 2s are 18. Over here guys, you can open the bracket, x minus 6 the whole square. You can expand it with the help of the identity a minus b the whole square, that is a square minus 2ab plus b square. 4 minus 12 will give you minus 8. Over here, let's open the bracket, minus 4x square minus 4 minus 12x will be plus 48. 36 into minus 4 will be minus 144 and this minus 8. Again, you can add, subtract the like terms. Over here, minus 4x square will come first as per the power. 9x plus 48x will give you 57x. Minus 18 minus 144 minus 8 will give you minus 170. Now to remove that minus sign in the beginning, we will multiply throughout by minus 1. So entire equation sign will change. Now guys, we all know we can factorize this. Product of third number with the first number, it gives you 680. Once you multiply two factors, you need to get 680, and if you plus, you need to get 57. So first of all, I am doing this factorization. Two factors when multiplied gives you 680 and when added gives you 57. The factors are 40 and 70. So we'll do it. Minus 40x minus 17x plus 170. I hope you all know splitting the middle term concept, so you can do it easily. X is common, 4 is common. Whatever is remaining will come inside, that is x minus 10. Minus sign over here will come as it is down and 17 is common. And the remaining part is x minus 10. As you all are aware, the first and the second bracket will be always the same. Common bracket, write it once. Uncommon bracket, write it once. X minus 10 4x minus 17 is equal to 0. We know the next step. It has to be x minus 10 is equal to 0 or 4x minus 17 is equal to 0. Minus 10 shifted to other side will be plus 10. Minus 17 shifted to other side will be plus 17. Over here guys, x will be 17 by 4. Now guys, h can't be negative or fraction. So obviously, my son's age 6 years ago agar mujhe chahiye, what is the present age of my son? I have got the value of x. Let me substitute and check what will be the answer. My son's age is x is equal to 17 by 4. If it is 6 years ago, it will be 17 upon 4 minus 6, which when solved, I am getting the answer in negative. ऐसा थोड़ी हो सकता है कि मेरा son का age negative में जाएगा. So guys, the answer is x is equal to 10 and that is the present age of my son. Am I very clear with the sum? Okay, let's proceed further. Cost of bananas is increased by rupees 1 per dozen. One can get 2 dozen less for rupees 840. Find the original cost of 1 dozen of banana. Now guys, over here they have asked, find the original cost of 1 dozen of banana. Whatever is asked, you will consider it as x. Let the cost of banana per dozen be rupees x. Now guys, the question is, the cost of bananas is increased by 1 dozen. One can get 2 dozen less for 840. So the total amount paid was 840 rupees. Now number of dozens, अगर मैंने 840 rupees पे किया और एक डजन का कॉस्ट x है, तो कितना डजन मैंने बाय किया रहेगा? 840 upon x ना, that is total amount upon cost per dozen, that is 840 upon x. Now guys, they have said cost of bananas is increased by 1. Earlier the cost was x, increased by 1 means the new cost is x plus 1. Now over here guys, at that time one can get 2 dozen less for 840. So अभी मैंने 1 rupees बढ़ाया, 840 दिया मैंने, but 1 rupee per dozen बढ़ गया, तो अभी मुझे कितना बनाना मिलेगा? It will be 840 upon new cost of banana per dozen, that is x plus 1. We have written down all the important information. Now let's make the equation. Cost of bananas is increased by 1. One can get 2 dozen less. Earlier guys, we were getting 840 upon x bananas, जो भी x rupees था cost of dozen. Now we are getting 840 upon x plus 1, क्योंकि पैसा बढ़ गया तो बनाना कम मिलेगा ना. तो एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं. 100 रुपीस दिया मैंने, जब भी 10 रुपी पर डजन था, तो मुझे पर कितना डजन बनाना मिला? 100 अपॉन 10 दैट इज 10. जब भी 100 दिया मैंने और कॉस्ट ऑफ बनानास बन गया 20, पैसा ज्यादा हो गया, तो मुझे कितना बनानास का डजन मिल रहा है? 5. मतलब पैसा बढ़ा तो नंबर ऑफ डजन कम हो गया. मतलब पहले 840 अपॉन x मिल रहा था, अभी 840 अपॉन x प्लस 1 मिल रहा है. और क्वेश्चन में दिया है जब भी पैसा बढ़ा 2 डजन लेस वी आर गेटिंग. डिफरेंस इज 2 डजन लेस. So old dozen minus new dozen will give you 2, because earlier I was getting more dozen of banana, now I am getting less dozen of banana, और दोनों के बीच का difference is 2. So 840 upon x minus 840 upon x plus 1 is equal to 2. Over here guys, you can see 840 is common, so I wrote it outside. What is remaining? 1 upon x minus 1 upon x plus 1 is equal to 2. Now guys, over here, let's cross multiply and check. 1 into x plus 1 will give you x plus 1, minus 1 into x will give you x upon x into x plus 1. 840 multiplication mein hai. If I change the side, it will be division. Plus x minus x cancelled, so 1 upon x into x, x square, 1 into x, 1. 1 upon 420, let's cross multiply. 420 shifted to other side will give you minus 420 You will factorize, multiply किया तो 420 minus किया तो 1. So it will be 21 and 20 the factors. So let's factorize. Let's take common. X is common over here. What will come in the bracket? X minus 20. 21 is common. What will come inside the bracket? X minus 20. Common bracket, write it once. Uncommon bracket, write it once. Both the brackets will have the 0. X minus 20 is 0 or x plus 21 is 0. Minus 20 shifted to other side will be plus 20. Plus 21 shifted to other side will be minus 21. Obviously, number of bananas can't be negative, so the answer is 20. You will end up the answer with your final note. The original cost of 1 dozen of banana is rupees 20. Have you all understood it very properly? Okay. Moving towards arithmetic progression. Now guys, moving towards arithmetic progression, let's do few interesting sums. Find the first negative term from the following 80, 122, 116, 110 and so on. Guys, an 80 is given. First of all, let's write it. We know the terms, and when we know the terms, we write down A and D. So A is 122 and D is T2 minus T1, that is 116 minus 122, that is minus 6. Guys, in the PPT, equal to signs, 2, 3 equal to signs are coming in a straight line, but it is not allowed. It is only for the PPT. You will write it one below the other. In one line, there should be only one equal to sign. Now guys, they are asking us the first negative term. We don't know the first negative term. We don't know where it will come. So just now मैंने बस negative लिखा है. We don't know the position, so I am marking it as Tn. And Tn comes into picture. We know what we have to consider, the formula. But before that, I have reached to a conclusion that Tn is negative. If I say Tn is negative, that means, can I say it will be less than 0? Negative number matlab less than 0. And Tn is nothing but a plus n minus 1 into d, less than 0. A is 122, d is minus 6, n minus 1 will be same. Idhar tak we did it so nicely. Let's open the bracket. Minus 6 into n minus 6n. Minus 6 into minus 1 will be plus 6. 122 plus 6 gives you 128. Minus 6n shifted to other side will be plus 6n. We will divide both the sides by 6 so that we'll get the value of n. So that will be n is greater than 21.333. Now guys, n is a term number. Term number 21.333. Term मतलब position. तो position तो natural होता है ना. I can't say you are in 1.5th position, you are in 2.6 position. It has to be a natural number. So guys, the first natural number n is greater than 21.33. The first natural number post 21.33 is 22. So we will consider n as 22. N मिल गया, so we can easily find out Tn. Tn will be replaced by T22. A will be replaced by 122, n will be replaced by 22, d will be replaced by minus 6. 22 minus 1 will give you 21. 21 into minus 6 is 126, so it will be minus 4. Easy? Understood very properly? Nice. Now guys, moving on to the next one. In the 80, 7, 14, 21 and so on, how many terms are to be considered for getting sum 5740? You need to find out how many terms more needs to be considered to get the final sum as 5740. That means Sn will come into picture. First of all, I wrote the AP. A is 7, D is 14 minus 7, that is 7. And the sum is 5740. So Sn is 5740. In AP, whatever comes in, the formula helps us. We have Sn, so we will use the formula of Sn, that is n upon 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Sn will be replaced by 5740. We can do it later. A will be replaced by 7. N will be as it is and D will be replaced by 7. Sn is replaced by 5740. 2 sevens are 14. 7 into n, 7n. 7 ones are 7. 14 minus 7 gives you 7. 7n will be as it is. 2 over here is in division. If I change the side, it will be multiplication. So 5740 into 2 gives you 11480. Now guys, n into 7n will give you 7n square. N into 7 will give you 7n. We will shift everything to one side equal to 0. Now guys, over here we can divide the equation throughout by 7 and make the equation more easier. Now we know factorization will help us. Two numbers when multiplied gives you 1640 and when subtracted gives you 1. This is the calculation. So the two numbers are, yes, you guessed it right, 41 and 40. N will be common. So inside the bracket it will be n plus 41. Minus will come as it is. 40 is common. Inside the bracket it will be n plus 41. Now guys, over here let's consider the calculation part. N plus 41, the common bracket will come once and the uncommon bracket will come once. N plus 41 is equal to 0 or n minus 40 is equal to 0. 41 will be shifted to other side, it will be minus 41. Minus 40 shifted to other side will be 40. Now over here guys, n minus 41 is not acceptable because it needs to be a natural number, because it is a term number. So the answer of n is 40. That means 40 terms have to be considered for getting the sum 5740. Am I very clear guys? Let's proceed further with our next chapter, that is probability, the easiest one. Now guys, over here let's do probability. This is an interesting concept of probability. You have 52 cards with you. We are going to do a concept of playing cards. Just observe this, you have 52 cards. In the beginning you can see you have 26 black cards, 26 red cards. In that you have, over here if you observe carefully, in the first row you have 13 club. In the second row you have 13 spade. In the third row you have 13 heart. In the fourth row you have 13 diamond. So see the bifurcation, 26 black cards, 26 red cards, 13 club, 13 spade. Top two are black cards, 13 heart, 13 diamond. Below two are red cards. Now guys, these are called as face cards, J, Q, K. 3 face cards each in all the 4 types. Now guys, this A, it is called as ace. 1 ace will be there in each type. And over here you have the number cards from 2 to 10. So this is the way how your cards looks like. So let's do a revision. Total there are 52 cards. 26 black, 26 red cards. 26 black cards are further divided into 13 club, 13 spade. 26 red cards are divided into 13 heart, 13 diamond. You have 3 ace cards each. J, Q, K. Jack, Queen, King. So total face card 12. You have 1 ace in each 4 type. So total ace will be 4. You have number cards. Count karo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 number cards. And types kitna hai? 4. So total number cards will be 9 4s, that is 36. Okay guys, let's do a sum. Playing cards ka ho gaya. Now we are going to do an interesting sum. What is the probability that an ordinary year has 53 Sundays? Let's think. First of all, whenever you get a question, just think what you know about the question. We know that ordinary year has 365 days. We are talking about Sunday and it comes in a week. A week has how many days? 7 days. So we will divide 365 upon 7, which gives us 52 as the answer. And the remainder is 1. That means there are 52 weeks in 365 days and there is one remaining day, extra day. 52 complete weeks and one extra day. What did I do? 365 total days है, Sunday week में आता है. So I just thought of calculating there are how many weeks in 365 days. And I reached to a conclusion that there are 52 weeks when I divided it by 7. And I got one extra day. 1 week, 1 Sunday. We are discussing about Sunday. 1 week, 1 Sunday. 2 weeks, 2 Sunday. 52 weeks, there will be 52 Sundays. Now guys, we are talking about the 53rd Sunday. 52 weeks, 52 Sundays done. We are talking about the 53 Sundays. Probability can ordinary year we have 53 Sundays. We have that one extra day remaining. No, we have that one extra day remaining. So what will we do? That extra day can be a Sunday. It can be a Sunday, but we don't know. It can be Monday, Tuesday, anything. There are possibilities. So first of all, we will write the sample space for that extra day. That is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That means there are 7 possibilities. But our event says that let A be the event that the extra day is the Sunday. In that only Sunday will come. N of A is 1. So probability of A will be N of A upon N of S, that is 1 upon 7. Okay. So the probability that an ordinary or selected random will have 53 Sundays, 1 upon 7. Very easy sum. Again, I am taking one more sum. Let me see whether you can crack it. What is the probability that a leap year has 53 Sundays? What did I tell you? First, see what information you know. Leap year. We know leap year has 366 days. Now, guys, we are talking about Sunday. That means it will come in a week. So, we have to calculate the weeks. So, 366 needs to be divided by 7. Again, we will get 52 weeks and 2 as the remainder, that is 2 extra days. Now, we know 52 weeks. Every week has a Sunday. So 52 weeks means there will be 52 Sundays. Now from where will that 53rd Sunday come? Yes, it can come from that 2 extra days. But that 2 extra days will be consecutive days. 2 extra दिन बच रहा है. For example, आपका कैलेंडर में वीक खत्म हो रहा है और 2 ही दिन बच रहे हैं. So it can't be Monday and Wednesday. It will be Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday. It will be consecutive 2 days. So let's write the sample space for 2 extra days. Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday. So N of S is 7. So we need extra Sunday in that remaining 2 days. So let A be the event of getting 53rd Sunday in remaining 2 days. So A is Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday. So N of A is 2. So P of A will be N of A upon N of S, that is 2 upon 7. Easy guys. So let's end the answer with our final note. The probability that a leap year selected at random will have 53 Sundays, 2 upon 7. A very nice sum. You have already done a sum like this. A missing helicopter is reported to have crashed somewhere in the rectangular region. What is the probability? Somewhere देखो किधर भी हो सकता है, इधर इधर किधर भी, गार्डन में किधर भी देखो, लेक के अंदर. What is the probability that it crashed inside the lake? We need to find the probability that कितना chances है it it would have crashed inside the lake. Now guys, over here we know what is the probability it crashed inside the lake there. एक rectangular region है और lake भी देखो कैसे shape में है, rectangular shape में, and it is based on rectangular geometrical figures. And whenever we are dealing probability with geometrical figures, we consider their areas. So first of all, we will consider the area of the rectangular region and then the area of the lake. तो सबसे पहले rectangular region का length क्या है? Over here इतना diagram में provided है. The total length is 9. Over here it is 6. So the remaining will be 3, no? वो हम लोग lake के time कर लेंगे. तो length of the rectangular region is 9 and breadth of the rectangular region is 4.5. And we know area of the rectangle, it is 9 into 4.5 because the formula says length into breadth. 40.5. Now talking about the lake. Over here it is 9 and वो 6 है. So it will be 9, opposite sides are equal. So the remaining part will be 3. Again ये 4.5 है, वो 2 है, so remaining part will be 2.5. So we got the length and breadth of the lake as well. So area of the lake, it is length into breadth, that is 3 into 2.5, which is 7.5. So I got the area of the rectangular region and I got the area of the lake. Remember, in probability, if you are finding geometrical figures, then the formula will be, over here what we need to find, probability that the helicopter would have been inside the lake. So lake is our main event and sample space is the rectangular region. So probability of A will be n upon A. N of A, that is the area of the lake, upon n of S, that is a sample space. N of A is helicopter lake के इधर crash हुआ रहेगा. So guys, N of A is nothing but area of the lake because we are considering lake as the event, and N of S is the total region. Total region is area of the rectangular region. Area of the lake is 7.5. Area of the rectangular region is 40.5. To remove decimal, you will multiply the numerator and denominator by 10. 7.5 into 10 is 75. 40.5 is 405. We'll do the cancellation and we got it as 5 upon 27. Understood, guys? So guys, with this we are done with some important questions of your ICB. All the very best, guys. You need to practice very properly and give your best to score great marks in your exam. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.